What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the FIFA 17 career mode. This is episode number 19, and I'm starting today's episode off by showing you a comment I got in my last episode from AJ when I asked you guys to let me know where you think we'll end up finishing come the end of the season. And AJ said, I feel we'll finish 6th or possibly 5th if we are lucky. If you look back in the last two career modes, there was one thing: a very clinical striker. In the Bundesliga career mode, it was Angel Correa, and in the La Liga career mode, it was Ayoza Perez. The Middlesbrough side doesn't have that, and in the summer transfer window, we really need a world-class striker and maybe get rid of one of the strikers we have at the club right now. And I thought that was a great comment from AJ there as well, referencing my past two career modes where we did have a consistent, out-and-out, reliable source of goals up top. In this Middlesbrough side, we don't have that right now. We are one of the lowest scoring teams in the division, let alone the top half of it, with just 34 goals all season long. If we want to finish in the top 4, we need to improve our chances in front of goal. And I don't want to agree with AJ because I'm desperate for us to finish in the top 4. It'll be the first time I've ever finished in the top 4 in the first season in the Premier League, but I think he may end up being right. A great reference there, a great nod to my previous two career modes where we did have that main striker up top that was reliable, that was consistent, and did know how to put the ball in the back of the net on a regular basis. We don't have that in this season, and that is really hurting us. But thank you for the comment, AJ. And I got to say right now, just real briefly as well, the comments on this series so far have been fantastic. Some great interaction with you guys throughout the course of the series so far. Really do appreciate that, and thank you very much for the comment, AJ. You talk a lot of sense. But still, coming to the first game of today's episode here, we will take on Hull City away from home at the KCOM Stadium, coming on the back of our 1-0 victory against Swansea in the last game in the last episode. But sadly, in this game, we'll get off to the worst possible start. David Myler would give Hull City the opening goal of the game 22 minutes in as they floated in a free kick to the centre. We failed to get it away. Myler controlled it with his chest and volleyed it in and made it 1-0 to Hull City. So I talked about us needing to score more goals, and now we desperately need to score more goals in this game as we were trailed at the break by a 1-0. So the worst possible start to this game, a poor first half from us against the side right now who, under Mike Phelan in the game, are playing very poorly and just above the relegation zone. So in the second half here, I decided to up the intensity, try and put the pressure on more, and try and win the ball back as quickly as possible. We had the first chance 11 minutes after the restart. Adama won the ball back, but David Marshall made the save and turned the ball in for a corner. And from that corner, Victor Fisher would cross the ball into the centre. He was looking for the head of Saido Berahino, but sadly, Jake Livermore got it behind for yet another corner. So we kept the pressure on Hull City. Once again, look for that sort of near post flick on. He crossed it towards Berahino, who did flick it on. Martin Derone slid in on the goal line and found the back of the net to make it Hull City 1, Middlesbrough 1. So back on level terms, just 13 minutes after the restart. And when I've been talking about the need for a goal scorer and the need for someone to put the ball in the back of the net, it's crazy to think that Martin Derone has been one of our highest scoring players this season. Our defensive midfielder, who I've made captain, manages to get his 5th goal of the season and put us back on level terms just before the hour mark. So Hull City 1, Middlesbrough 1. With 15 minutes to go though, David Myler gets past Clayton and comes through to shoot on his left foot from just outside the area. And what a strike as well from Hull's number 7, as he would score his 2nd goal of the game and his 2nd goal of the season to restore Hull's lead and possibly give them a massive 3 points. He took it around Clayton and kept on going, avoided the pressure and wasn't phased by it, went for goal, and what a finish, in off the inside of the post. Valdez has absolutely no chance, and David Myler makes it Hull City 2, Middlesbrough 1. So with just a few minutes to go, we trailed once again, needed to get ourselves back on level terms here to find ourselves an equalising goal. Saido Berahino was denied by David Marshall with 5 minutes to go, and then found Victor Fisher just outside the area. He gave it to Clayton, who rolled off towards Gaston Ramirez, back inside towards Clayton, but again Marshall made the save, and we still trail by a goal in this game. And late on, the final chance fell in stoppage time. El Mohammadi had a throw for Hull City and found Bruce. Eventually, the pair of them down the right hand side played it forward towards Diamande, but he was tackled by Daniel Ayala, who found Gaston Ramirez. What a first time through ball. He found Victor Fisher inside the area, and deep into stoppage time, Victor Fisher scores the goal that will equalise the score. I've said it again, that will level the score, give us the equalising goal, and make it 2-2, and ensure that we would lead the KCOM Stadium with at least a point in this game. And our Danish winger is the one responsible. So he gets his 3rd goal of the season. As you can see, it was virtually the final kick of the game. The referee blew for full time after that. Hull were flat out after the game. They'd scored twice against us and thought for sure they'd be claiming a massive 3 points. Mike Phelan's pressure on Mike Phelan would feel relieved as well, as they're down the bottom end of the table right now, desperately clambering for points, trying to get as many as possible. But for us, we rescue one late on in the game thanks to Victor Fisher. But what a ball, by the way, by Gaston Ramirez. Absolutely fantastic first time through ball, and Victor Fisher held his nerve and slotted the ball in at the near post. So final score, Hull City 2, Swansea 2, and again, it's not a good result. It's 2 points drop, not 1 point gain, no doubt about that. Our form since the second half of the season begun has been very, very inconsistent indeed, but you got to take any positive, man, seriously, because that would have been a very, very, very damaging defeat for us. Our second in 3 games, how we not found an equalising goal late on. So, I mean, I've just got to sit there and say there's a few games to go, and we're doing enough to stay in the race for the top 4, but we've got to be better. We need to start winning games on a more regular basis. That's been our big problem in the second half of the season. And don't forget, you know, we were in the top 4 for a few weeks. We were in the top 4, we're in 4th place, and we were doing okay for a few weeks coming the second half of the season started. Since then, we've fallen apart completely, and we're really, really struggling right now, and we need to get it sorted. But still, following that, we had our first scouting update here from Victor Golovin, and as you can see, he picks up a couple of players there, look okay. We'll continue the scouting on them though, and see how they turn out in the future. I would like to get more youth players in this series and really put the emphasis on that, but I feel like it is still quite a difficult thing to do. As the FIFAs have gone by, I've always found that youth scouting's got worse and worse and worse, but hopefully he'll pick us up some good players to go alongside Diego Menendez. But still, for the second game of today's episode here, we'll come back home to the Riverside Stadium to take on the side currently bottom of the table, Burnley. So really looking forward to this matchup against Sean Dyche's side, because after that draw against Hull City, where we were bailed out in stoppage time by Victor Fisher, I thought for sure in this game we would return to winning ways and hopefully get a big win as well. And after the first 3 minutes, I felt for sure that was how the game was going to go. We had the early chances and should have been in front, but after that, Burnley really woke up, and if it wasn't for 2 fantastic saves by our Spanish goalkeeper Victor Valdez, they would have taken a shock lead in the first half. Our goalkeeper bailed us out not once but twice in the first half with 2 really big saves, as the former United shot stopper kept the score at 0-0. But just before the break, we had one chance to get ourselves in front for the first time. Adama found Derone, who played a quick little 1-2 with Negredo. Derone went through to score, but couldn't score his second goal in 2 games as he skied his shot over the bar. So at half time it was 0-0. Both sides played pretty well in the first half. Both goalkeepers were playing quite well though, and that's why the score was 0-0. But in the second half, I really struggled to create chances. We didn't get one until the 77th minute of the game, as Adama found Negredo. He gave it towards Diego, who went for a goal from just outside the area, but the goalkeeper made the save and turned the shot behind for a corner. And from that corner, Diego crosses the ball into the centre, looks for Tammy Abraham off the bench, but instead Negredo wins the header, but it goes onto the roof of the net and behind for a goal kick. So still 0-0. One of the final chances fell with 8 minutes to go, as Menendez was sent down the left-hand side here. He took around his man and found Negredo. He found Tammy Abraham, who I thought for sure was going to find the back of the net, but AJ alluded to it at the start of the episode. We don't have a consistent and reliable goal scorer like Angel Correa, like Iosa Perez, and so when that moment fell to Tammy Abraham right there, I wasn't surprised to see him put the shot wide of the post and behind for a goal kick. I completely messed up there as well. The adrenaline got to me. I realised he was through and I thought this was the moment, and I completely messed up the finish. So Menendez gave it towards Negredo. It was a nice little build up there. He found Tammy Abraham, but again, a first time strike on his right foot. You know, seriously, Perez, Correa, that's a goal, no doubt about it, and we win the game. But instead it was Tammy Abraham, and I couldn't even hit the target. So just a point in that game, just a draw. Another game where we failed to win against the side struggling down the bottom end of the table. Another game where we should have got the 3 points, and I'm really, really frustrated with the fact that right now we just can't seem to score for Toffee. And I say right now, it's been an ongoing problem all through the season. Only 36 goals in 32 games. Quite frankly, that is not good enough, and I really should have taken that chance there right at the end of the game. But still, for the third and final game of today's episode here, we will take on Arsenal at the Riverside Stadium, desperate to return to winning ways after 2 games without one. First chance to fall to Arsenal, no Mesut Ozil going for goal, but Valdez making a save to deny the German midfielder, and it was still 0-0. And in the 33rd minute, Derone played a great through ball towards Will Hughes here. The former Derby man took it round Elneny and went for goal, but scuffed his shot as it went wide of the post. So still 0-0 in this game as well. One final chance before the break for Arsenal to get themselves in front here, as Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain crossed the wing to the centre. I failed to deal with it, Dominique Heinz. It fell to Giroud, who went for goal, but the French forward was denied by a good save by Valdez as he turned it behind for a corner. So still 0-0. Arsenal on top in the first half, playing a little bit better than us. And in the second half here, again, just like in the last game, not much really happened until late on, with 10.5 minutes to go. Victor Fisher swung in the corner. Derone won the header, but Jan Oblak turned turned it behind for a corner and kept the score at 0-0. And from the corner from the other side, Fisher crossed the wings to the centre again. This time found Callum Wilson, and we know this guy is clutch, but unfortunately, this is just how we're feeling right now. He had a free header 6 yards out, and I failed to hit the target as it went over the bar. So final score, Middlesbrough 0, Arsenal 0. 3 consecutive draws in a row. We've only had 1 win in our last 6 games, and we're choking. You know, I was going to come out and say it right now. We are choking. We are really, really struggling, and I'm all over the place right now. And when you've got a goal scorer that is known for scoring late goals, when he's got a chance with a free header with 6 yards out, a perfect delivery from Fisher, and the space and time he needed, he couldn't even hit the target. That sums it all up right there. I am really, really struggling. We are choking big time. We've lost our lead in the top 4. We've gone out of it now. We're in 5th place, and we're struggling to keep up with Liverpool. We're all over the place right now, and with just a few games to go, 5 games left in the season, I got to say, I think AJ is going to be spot on. We won't be finishing in the top 4 come the end of the season. There's still that chance. We're only 3 points behind, but we've got some tough fixtures to come. We've got Chelsea, we've got City, and we've got Liverpool on the final day as well. So that will end today's episode in the FIFA 17 career mode, guys. So a big thank you for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please do leave a like. Likes, of course, much appreciated, and it really helps the channel grow as well. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for the next episode of the FIFA 17 career mode very soon.